Valentine on the track.
First things first, Douglas, man, I respect you. The things you did to fight the system, big balls of virtue. Unluckily for you, I read your little narrative, and I don't know what's worse, your title or your analysis. In the life of Frederick Douglass, there were many masters, all of them who Mr. Douglas never ever asked for, but to use abominable to describe the Southern planters, you imply that all Southerners are heartless mad dissenters of human morale. And yes, it may be the case that some despicable men are proving your case, but to claim and not refrain from absolute clauses just hurts your own cause, man. Because you're doing exactly what's being done to you, subjugating people based on their skin hue. So I suggest you eschew from this type of ideology, for people may call you out on this blatant hypocrisy. Alright, Mr. Twain, I admire your so-called merit. To criticize me as if you had some credit that is worth it. You say you read my narrative, well, did you read it carefully? Because if you did, you realize there ain't no hypocrisy. I was born a slave, made to endure horrors that you could never in your life picture. I put my life on the line for this. So yeah, it makes sense that I could be a little cynical, but a white writer hiding behind an alias? Disgraceful. But who are you to claim what you claim about me? You deliberately placed a black man in captivity, locked up by his own supposed heroes and saviors, Huckleberry Finn and the infamous Tom Sawyer. I mean, think about it. You're trying to promote the freedom of slaves, but you put Jim in a cage with rats and snakes, and Jim B begging about the grotesque rats, while Tom B selfish calling Jim ungrateful rat. Slavery ain't going away with this excuse of an attack. I must commend you, Douglas. You are quite persistent, just as the language in your book is so eloquent. Like when you describe a whipping you first witnessed as a kid, how the master kept calling your aunt a dead bitch. As I absorbed the emotion on the page, there was enough rage for days to cause a rampage. It amazes me how you can have a childhood so dark, but that doesn't give you any reason to bark about how you yourself virtuously escape the South while others perish when they embark. There are many who tried before you and failed, and that's the symbolism behind Jim captured and jailed, because, Douglas, that's the reality of slavery. Not every slave will have your bombs of camaraderie. And honestly, how will your story and anomaly of success affect the lives of your friends and family and all the rest? In comparison to mine, which will stand the test of time, the adventures of Huck influences from the very first line. It shows slaveholders the wrongs and how to make things right, while you just seem to anger and send away your spite. You claim you've been frequently asked how you felt in a free state. Ever think about helping your friends and family? Well, it's too late, for you've written a book with minimalistic effect, because it only applies to you and a few others, correct? You know what, Twain? You're not completely hopeless. The way you portrayed Jim was actually kind of genius, a spark of humanity with loving paternity. When he finds Huck alive, he says, "I so thankful, the pinnacle of caring." What an excellent example. Getting Jim right does not, however, correct the mistake that haunts you forever. I think you lost the original purpose of the book. Where's the slavery and the anti-slavery, you runk? Sure, Jim is portrayed as a slave, but you fail to address other problems in this age regarding slavery. Instead, you have little Huck in a search out in the country like Lewis and Clark too. Jim is just a background character because Huck just keeps encountering distractors and takes forever just to set free. Could have been sooner. This book should have been called The Mishaps of Tom Sawyer. Listen, Twain, I know you tried. You really did. But next time, leave it to the guy with ethos and credit.